A picture of the Middle East unfolds under the blazing desert sun, where gilded palaces tower against blue skies, super yachts glide smoothly on bays, and Rolls-Royces silently carry billion-dollar secrets. It is here that Donald Trump, President of the United States, emerges as a world-class leader, turning every negotiation into an art form. Trump's tour of power begins in Riyadh, as Saudi Arabian F-15 fighter jets escort Air Force One across the desert sky, signaling a $600 billion deal with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. From there, he heads to Doha, Qatar, where he is greeted by a luxurious Boeing 747-8 and a $1.2 trillion deal. Finally, Abu Dhabi rolled out the royal purple carpet, paving the way for a $1.4 trillion deal that placed Trump at the center of a $3.2 trillion symphony of power. Across the Middle East, from the gilded and Yamama Palace to the crystal-encrusted Sheikh Zayed Mosque, Trump was not only welcomed but celebrated as a great figure, a powerful symbol on the global stage. The lavish ceremonies of the elite opened the door for Trump to billion-dollar negotiating tables, where power and ambition intersected under the spotlight. In Doha, as Air Force One entered Qatari airspace, 8 Qatari Air Force F-15 fighter jets appeared, escorting the presidential plane in perfect formation, not only a formality of honor, but also a powerful message about the US-Qatar alliance. Trump was greeted at the airport by Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. Dressed in traditional attire, his authority oozing from every step, a fleet of red Tesla Cybertrucks, gleaming like modern warhorses, escorted the distinguished guest through lavish boulevards, amid traditional music, powerful Harder dances, and cavalry on white horses. The Amiri Dewan Palace, with its pristine white marble domes reflecting the light like pearls in the desert, was where Trump and Sheikh Tamim sat face to face like two New Age leaders. At 33, Sheikh Tamim is the youngest ruler in the Gulf, owning the $400 million Al Lusail superyacht and running the $461 billion Qatar Investment Authority, which owns such luxuries as the Shard Hotel in London. But Qatar is not all gold and luxury. The 2022 World Cup, with an investment of up to $220 billion, has put the country on the global sports map. At the negotiating table, Qatar Airways announced a contract to buy 160 wide-body aircraft from Boeing, 130,787 Dreamliners and 30,777 XS, expected to create 150,000 jobs a year in the United States. Combined with defense commitments from Raytheon and General Atomics, Qatar is cementing its position not only as a financial center but also as a strategic power. With a series of huge deals and lavish receptions, the Middle East has sent a clear message: who really represents power and wealth on the global stage. Beneath the bright sunshine of the Gulf, where glass towers tower like the embodiment of limitless ambition, billion-dollar negotiations are painting a picture of geopolitical power. In the $1.2 trillion deal, the MQ-9B drone plays a pivotal role, connecting the defense, energy, and technology sectors, creating a corridor of cooperation from Doha to Washington. Qatar, with a bold strategy, has made a statement of prosperity with a $400 million Boeing 747-8, dubbed the Palace in the Air, with a lavish interior, handcrafted leather seats, and sparkling crystal chandeliers, when President Donald Trump saw the plane in Florida in May 2025. He couldn't hide his delight, even bluntly expressing that it would be stupid to refuse such a gift. But it is not just a symbol of luxury, it is also the center of controversy. The US Constitution prohibits the president from accepting gifts from foreign governments without congressional approval, while Democrats have called it a poisoned gift and a dangerous diplomatic ploy. The White House has insisted that everything is transparent. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stressed that the Trump administration is committed to accepting all gifts in accordance with the law. However, to transform the Flying Palace into Air Force One, the Boeing 747-8 will need to undergo a costly upgrade with nuclear defense systems, missiles and encrypted communications. Aviation experts predict the cost could exceed $1 billion, making this free gift a huge bill. As night falls, The crystal lights of the Lusail Palace come on, turning the royal party into a story of 1001 nights. Here, Trump and Sheikh Tamim toasted, marking the transfer of World Cup hosting rights from Qatar to the United States, a crowning ceremony between two soccer empires. As a mediator with Hamas and allied with Algeria, Qatar is positioning itself as a bridge between war and peace, despite criticism of its support for terrorism. With the deftness of a monarch, Sheikh Tamim used $1.2 trillion, a palace in the sky, and an F-15 escort to put Qatar at the center of the geopolitical chessboard, leaving Trump and the world on their toes. In Abu Dhabi, under a bright sun, Air Force One flew into the airspace of the United Arab Emirates on May 15, 2025. 6 Mirage 2000s from the UAE Air Force appeared, escorting the presidential plane like desert warriors, a display of military might and respect for Donald Trump. He was greeted by President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who has transformed the UAE into a global technology hub. With a regal air that radiated from his calm demeanor, the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque appeared like a timeless masterpiece with 82 white domes, thousands of marble columns, and the world's largest carpet, spread out under a dazzling Swarovski light. Trump paused to admire it, a gesture of cultural reverence before touring the Louvre Abu Dhabi, a soft power symbol of East-West art. In the gilded space of the Qasr Al Watan Palace, amid the majestic corridors and intricately carved domes, Trump faced Sheikh Mohammed in a solemn but ambitious conversation. Behind him stood powerful figures, Secretary of State Marco Rubio cementing security alliances, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth pushing military cooperation, Secretary of the Treasury Scott Burr overseeing billions of dollars, and billionaire Elon Musk, a symbol of technology and vision for the future. With the historic talks, the Middle East not only welcomed Trump but also sent a clear message: power and prosperity on the global stage are being reshaped. Under the bright sun of the Gulf, the technological and economic race between the great powers is reaching new heights. In a historic deal, the UAE touted a staggering $1.4 trillion in investment in the United States between 2025 and 2035. This far outstrips Qatar's $1.2 trillion and Saudi Arabia's $600 billion, cementing the UAE's position as the region's #1 strategic ally. This massive investment is more than just money. It's a declaration of a new tech empire where AI is at the heart. The MGX Fund, founded by Mubadala and G42, has committed $500 billion to the Stargate project, a mega project to build an AI data center in the United States in partnership with SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, and xAI. MGX went on to join xAI's $6 billion funding round and Datix $10 billion, making the UAE one of the largest shareholders in the global AI race. Not stopping there, G42, the UAE's leading AI company, has partnered with Microsoft in a $1.5 billion deal and invested $1 billion in Cerebrus Systems to manufacture AI chips in the US. The UAE is also pushing ahead with plans to build the world's largest AI supercomputer in Abu Dhabi, a strategic move to position the country as an advanced technology hub. In addition to AI, clean energy is an important pillar. SNOX and XRG are investing $60 billion in LNG and partnering with ExxonMobil and Occidental Petroleum to develop the next decade facility in Texas. ADQ Group, led by Sheikh Tamim bin Zayed, has partnered with Energy Capital Partners in a $25 billion joint venture to build data centers and hydrogen power plants for AI and cloud technology. The UAE's presence in U.S. industry continues to expand, with Emirates Global Aluminum investing $4 billion to build an aluminum smelter in Oklahoma, a move that will double U.S. domestic aluminum production in 35 years. ADQ and Orient Resource Partners are spending $1.2 billion on strategic minerals in Africa and Latin America to secure supply chains for AI and defense. In the aviation sector, Etihad Airways has signed a $14.5 billion deal with Boeing to buy 28,787s and 77,777 XS, with an option for 77 more, bringing the total potential value to $35 billion. The GE aerospace engines that power these planes not only strengthen the US-UAE relationship, but also elevate the aviation industry. Semiconductors and defense are not left out. Mubadala and Global Foundries are investing heavily in the US semiconductor industry, helping Washington reduce its dependence on China. Casna, a data infrastructure company, is building an AI data center in the US to strengthen cybersecurity and the technology supply chain. Unlike Qatar, which gave away a controversial flying palace, the UAE has chosen a long-term strategy, focusing on mutual benefits and avoiding legal risks. However, the UAE's AI ambitions have not been easy, facing restrictions on chip exports from the US, imposed under the Biden administration. In a May 2025 interview, Trump voiced support for the UAE, asking, "Why can't we sell chips to an ally that gets to buy F-35s?" But lawmakers like Chris Murphy are concerned about security risks, warning that advanced technology could fall into the hands of China through the UAE's ties to Huawei and Krupp. Under the bright lights of Abu Dhabi, the future is taking shape, a big game where AI, technology, clean energy, and economic power are redefining the world. Under the bright lights of the Burj Al Arab, the legendary tower that shines like a beacon in the middle of the Bay 34. At Emirates Palace, President Donald Trump and Sheikh Mohammed toasted at a royal banquet. In the sky, falcons circled, accompanied by traditional music, while the golden wine glasses no longer just sparkled in the crystal, but reflected the UAE's ambition, not just as an oil emirate but as a technology hub shaping the 21st century. From the Stargate project to the Oklahoma aluminum plant, from liquefied natural gas to AI, the UAE greeted Trump not with a single gift, but with a regal vision, a tech empire where artificial intelligence and clean energy lead the way for humanity. The visit to Abu Dhabi was an affirmation that Sheikh Mohammed and Trump are writing a new chapter in history together. With a $1.4 trillion investment, the UAE has overtaken Qatar and Saudi Arabia, placing itself at the center of the geopolitical chessboard. It is investing not just in America but in a future where the desert is the center of the world. And Trump straddles the line between opulence and controversy. In Saudi Arabia, the oil-rich kingdom where a modern-day coronation ceremony took place under the bright Riyadh sun, Air Force One touched down at King Khalid International Airport on May 13, 2025, kicking off Trump's historic trip. In the sky, 4 Royal Saudi Air Force F-15s flew in perfect formation, escorting the plane like desert guardians, a rare honorary ritual noted by Reuters. Trump walked down a glittering red carpet, facing Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the head of the world's richest oil kingdom. He was greeted by a steaming cup of Arabic coffee, poured from a golden dollar pot by royal guards in ceremonial gun belts. This was not just a reception but a display of empire, where gold, oil, and ambition mingled. A fleet of armored Bentleys gleamed like black pearls, escorting Trump through the wide boulevards to the Al Yamama Palace, an architectural masterpiece with marble domes and dazzling crystal chandeliers. In the magnificent hall, Trump and Prince Mohammed sat opposite each other like 2 emperors of the era. Trump was accompanied by powerful figures: Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Secretary of the Treasury Scott Benson, and billionaire Elon Musk, who brought with him the tech vision of XAI. On stage at the US-Saudi Arabia Investment Forum, the 2 leaders signed a $600 billion deal, an economic and security milestone that stunned the world. The centerpiece of the deal was the largest defense contract in US history, $142 billion for advanced weapons from more than a dozen US companies, including missiles, warships, and defense systems from Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and Boeing. The deal not only cemented the US-Saudi military alliance, but also created tens of thousands of jobs in the US. From factories in Texas to shipyards in Virginia. Beyond defense, Saudi Aramco committed $50 billion to oil and gas projects in the US, in partnership with ExxonMobil and Chevron. Meanwhile, the Public Investment Fund, PIF, is pouring $100 billion into infrastructure and technology. From ports to data centers, With a triumphant smile, Trump called Prince Mohammed a wonderful man and predicted the figure could reach $1 trillion. Speaking in Riyadh on May 13, 2025, but the glory of the Yamama Palace is not just about money. At a royal banquet at Al Murabba Palace, crystal lights reflecting on gilded banquet tables, where traditional dishes like kabsa and lukaimat are served by a team dressed in luxurious silks. Crown Prince Mohammed presents Trump with the King Abdulaziz Medal, Saudi Arabia's highest honor, a modern-day coronation ceremony. The royal swordsmen perform a traditional sword dance, creating a powerful scene where kingship and politics merge. Under the glittering lights of Riyadh, a new chapter of the world is being written, a symphony of oil, technology, and global geopolitics. The Arda dance, with its swords gleaming under the lights, symbolizes the kingdom's strength and tradition, where power and honor are celebrated with every step. This is a moment where Trump is present not only as president, but also as the central figure of an alliance forged in oil and steel. Saudi Arabia, with its vast oil reserves and $1 trillion sovereign wealth fund, is an unstoppable force in the Gulf. Led by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the kingdom is transforming itself through Vision 2030, shifting from oil dependence to technology and tourism, with ambitious projects like NEOM, a futuristic $500 billion city. The $600 billion deal with Trump not only strengthens the US-Saudi alliance in the face of threats from Iran, but also helps Riyadh acquire advanced technology and cutting-edge weapons, from defense systems to F-35s. Not everything is going smoothly, though, according to a report by the New York Times, Saudi Arabia's budget deficit in 2025 will reach $70 billion, leaving many analysts skeptical about its ability to meet its $600 billion commitment, especially in the context of volatile oil prices. Yet amid these concerns, the skies over Riyadh were ablaze as Trump and Crown Prince Mohammed raised their glasses beneath the glittering lights of the Kingdom Center, marking a new chapter in US-Saudi relations. From F-15 fighter jets to billion-dollar deals, Saudi Arabia has welcomed Trump not just as a leader but as a king. But Riyadh's ambitions extend beyond oil. The kingdom is positioning itself as a global powerhouse where the past and future merge in a golden glow. As Air Force One departed Abu Dhabi, the desert sun reflected off the glass towers, a reminder that the Middle East is not just a land of history but also a place shaping the future. Saudi Arabia with its oil is a stalwart. Qatar with Al Jazeera is a symbol of soft power. The United Arab Emirates with AI technology paints a dream of the future. Trump, amid lavish ceremonies and historic negotiations, left an indelible mark on the global geopolitical chessboard.